how do you know that the rents are going to increase? Like if you're an investor that's like, okay, I understand that yields aren't as strong at the moment, so I'll just get in at 5. How do you know that that particular property that you're buying in that particular market is actually the rents are going to consistently go up?
That is a really good question, Gabby. So firstly, um, what I would say is speak to a professional. Like, for example, like what we're doing with our clients is we're looking at this kind of stuff all the time, right? We've got a very good finger on the pulse that rents are rising. We're also looking at the amount of jobs going into an area versus the relative supply and what are the long-term fundamentals, right? The things that drive up drive up rental prices are migration. So people moving to an area for the first time because they start renting there before they buy there. Jobs growth, and you can kind of see it in lower vacancy rates and vacancy rates going down as well, right? So when you look at some of these kind of things, you've really got to look at what is the total available rental supply. And it's quite interesting actually, because a lot of people think, oh, investors are bad people and they drive up rents and they do all this kind of stuff. But actually what's happened in Sydney recently is really interesting, because property prices are generally driven by homeowners, owner occupiers. They generally drive prices up. What's been happening in Sydney is a lot of investors have been selling out of the market and a lot of owner occupiers have been buying into the market, which means that the total available rental stock is lower, right? Which is actually driving up rents, particularly in some parts of Sydney, it's driving up rents, and it's actually creating more of a housing crisis, right? So there's an interesting thing there that investors actually create balance in the ecosystem. So some of the other things you can look for on that front is you can look at what's the percentage of renters, what is the percentage of renters in the area versus owner occupiers. We're typically looking for less than 50%, ideally less than 40%. We want to see it balanced more towards owner occupiers, so there is more constrained supply in terms of renters in the area. Now, did I kind of answer that question for you, Gabby?
Yeah. So just to clarify, if you're seeing, like, one of the factors to look for would be that owner occupier percentage.
Yeah.
In an area is increasing, that would mean that the supply of rental properties is decreasing, so the rents will.
I wouldn't necessarily say you would need to see the owner occupier percentage increasing, right? What you want to see in an area is that is at least 50% owner occupiers, right? Preferably more, right? You're probably not going to see that trend change a lot, right? So you're probably not going to see a huge change in that trend. So you want to see that that's the state of the market, right? That there's constrained supply and there's not an oversupply in that area of rental opportunities. You also want to see a significant increase in economic opportunities and reasons for people to move there. So the holy trinity of location selection, lifestyle, affordability, and jobs. So you want to see all of those factors playing into it, why people are moving there. You also want to see, a shift in demand. So the way you would see a shift in demand is you would see vacancy rates going lower, which means that there's higher levels of occupancy, more people are trying to get rental properties. And you also need to use a little bit of local knowledge as well to see what's happening there too.